Hi, I'm Mayor David Black, and this is City Happenings. The city's police have maintained a close association with local schools. One of those relationships is with the junior high school. This year, there's something new in the classroom. We'll tell you what that is. We'll also hear from the officer who teaches D.A.R.E at the elementary level. And finally, there are some new building codes that are now in effect. Our chief building inspector fills us in. Here is more on all of these stories and City Happenings for the week of September 13th.
Thanks, Mayor Black. The Papillion Junior High Resource Officer has a new curriculum for this year.
We're no longer going to be doing the GREAT program, which was gang resistance education and training. We've now switched to the D.A.R.E middle school curriculum, and it's called Keeping It Real, and I think the kids are really going to like it. The difference from this program as from last year in the GREAT program, we'll be learning not so much just positive choices, but also choices as far as the drugs and alcohol, a little bit more of that in here, scenarios as far as how to avoid those places and those people, how to get out of those situations if you do find yourself in those situations. So it's really good. There's some videos involved, and it has some kids in it, their age, high school age kids, really telling you really what it's like. And I think the kids are really going to connect with it, and they're really going to like it a lot better. You're in the classroom, you can sit there and lecture, but with this being scenario-based, you get to put the kids in different situations, really have them decide on what type of choices they want to do, and you get to be involved, so it's a lot of fun.
At the elementary school level, Officer Tony Foster has been teaching D.A.R.E for 14 years, but he says it never gets old.
One of the great things about D.A.R.E is there's constantly making changes and updates, so the curriculum does change and vary a little bit. We've added classes about prescription drugs and over-the-counter drugs, classes about bullying as new issues come up. So that always keeps it kind of new and fresh for me. And you think about that, think, oh, I need to do the same thing. But when you go in the classroom, you see the new faces, the new personalities, the new kids. It's like you're doing your first class you've ever done. So the kids really make that happen. Another thing we do talk about in D.A.R.E now is about using the internet, and how we try to get them to understand that whatever you do on the internet, there's a permanent record of that. It's never going to go away. So make sure you make good decisions. Don't do anything on there you wouldn't want your parents or law enforcement to see. This is my 14th year now, starting my 14th year of teaching D.A.R.E, and things change. The kids change so much in their information and knowledge that's available to them. And one of the things I have now is a Facebook page that is set up just for the kids that I teach D.A.R.E to, and so it allows me to stay in touch with them and kind of get a little feel for who they are when they're not in the classroom, and they can see some normal photos of me in my normal life. They can get a little bit better idea of what I'm like when I'm not in the classroom and wearing a uniform. So I think the technology helps keep us a better bond, and so I'm looking forward to actually getting to know the kids this year again, same as we did last year, not just in the classroom but outside the classroom as well.
The city has new building codes that recently went into effect.
The International Code Council and the National Electrical Code, which is through the NFPA, which is National Fire Protection Association, they adopt new codes every 3 years. The electrical is governed by the state of Nebraska through their state electrical act. So they oversee, they set the minimum code standards, and then they've given the jurisdiction to us, they've given the authority and jurisdiction to us to oversee the electrical within our jurisdiction, which we have. But they have adopted the 2008 National Electric Code, which requires us to adopt it within a certain amount of time, which we have now done. Without getting super technical, there's just some newer requirements that are required for safety protection as far as arc faults in bedrooms, tamper-proof receptacles, those types of things, ceiling fan boxes versus just a standard box. A lot of things homeowners think, hey, in this bedroom I can just take down my light and put a ceiling fan up in my child's bedroom. Well, in the older days they just used a plastic box, then just 2 nails holding that plastic box up, and now you hang a 30-pound ceiling fan from that box. You can imagine it may not hold very well. Well, now the new code requires you to actually put a box in that if that light comes down, a homeowner can very easily just put getting a permit, but can very easily just put a ceiling fan up without a lot of having to go up in the attic and change out those types of things. For that, without getting super specific, I would say just to head to our website. Under the building department, we have the 2010 changes on there. Check that out. And then along with the electrical code, we went ahead and clarified some interpretations that we have. The code book, it's a guidance, it's a minimum requirements. A lot of them are left up to interpretation, and that's the biggest thing that we want to make it as clear as we possibly can for people that are getting ready to do a project that say, well, I can read this paragraph of the code this way, another inspector could read it this way. So we've clarified a lot of those sections within the code that are kind of a builder may not necessarily use their way around it, but they can kind of use the code to navigate their way around. We've kind of clarified that for them. And just because these rules are in effect, people aren't going to have to go out and spend lots of money and retrofit their houses. It's only as they do new things that these codes take effect.
There's still a couple of weeks for you to get to the Papillion Market Fair. It runs until September 29th. It's held every Wednesday from 5 to 8 p.m. in City Park. Rain or shine, please visit this great event. And the city will offer a fall cleanup in October. It will run for 4 days, the 14th through the 17th at the River City Complex. Call 597-2043 for details. Now, for more about Papillion, go to www.papillion.org or just call the Mayor's Hotline at 827-1111. Thanks for watching.